What is the difference between a violin plot and a bar plot? Whether you need good help, a genius writer, a brainy tutor, or a data wizard, Intuito4U has them all. It's like having a research dream team on demand.
Okay, let's talk about something you see literally every day but probably never think twice about. I'm talking about the humble bar chart. It's so familiar, right? But what if I told you that this simple, trusty tool has a secret life, and that it's capable of keeping some pretty big secrets about the very data it's supposed to be explaining?
And I'm not kidding, they are everywhere. You flip on the news, you see election results. You open a business report, you see quarterly earnings. You read a scientific paper, you see experimental data. The bar chart is this fundamental visual language that we've all just learned to speak without even trying.
So before we start pulling back the curtain on its secrets, let's just get reacquainted with our old friend here. You know, where did it even come from? And what was it actually designed to do in the first place?
At its heart, a bar chart is really simple. It takes different groups of things, like types of customers, or different countries, or months of the year, and it uses the length of a bar to show a value, like a count or a percentage. The keyword here is categorical data. We're comparing distinct, separate groups.
And this thing has been around for a long time. You can find early versions, these proto-bar charts, way back in the 1300s. But the modern one we all know, that was invented by a guy named William Playfair in 1781. And he used it to show Scotland's imports and exports. So for over 200 years, it's been the trusted workhorse of data visualization.
But that long history, that familiarity, it can make us a little complacent. We just trust the bar chart. And that trust is exactly where things can get tricky, because this simple chart has a hidden secret.
I mean, think about it. It gives us this clean, simple summary, usually just an average. But what is that single number, that one simple bar, not telling us? What information gets lost when you boil everything down?
Data scientists actually have a phrase for this. They talk about how naked bar plots, just the bar by itself, can conceal the true distribution of the data. In other words, they show you the summary, but they hide the real story underneath.
And boom, this slide right here is the heart of the whole thing. On the left, you've got your standard bar chart. It shows you one number, a simple average, looks clean, reliable, totally certain. But on the right, that's the reality. These four data sets look completely different, right? They tell totally different stories. But guess what? They all have the exact same average. A bar chart would show the exact same bar for all of them. It hides all that beautiful, messy chaos.
So the big takeaway here is this. By crushing all that data down into one number, the bar chart can completely erase the shape of the data. And the shape, the distribution, that's often where the most interesting insights are hiding. Are your customers clumped into two separate groups? Is your data being pulled way off by a couple of weird outliers? A bar chart will never tell you.
Okay, now, this doesn't mean we need to just throw bar charts in the trash, not at all. But it does mean we need to be better investigators. We need to know how to use them the right way and how to spot when they're being used to mislead. So let's look at a few common mistakes. This is the big one. Rule number 1, the y-axis on a bar chart has to start at 0. End of story. Why? Because our brains compare the total length of the bars. Look at the one on the right. By cutting off the bottom, a tiny difference suddenly looks huge. That second bar looks what, 3 times bigger? But the actual number isn't even close. Always start at 0. It's the only way to be honest.
I know, 3D effects can look flashy, but in the world of data, they're what we call chart junk. The perspective completely distorts the heights of the bars in the back. It makes it literally impossible to compare them accurately. Is that bar in the back taller, or is it just an illusion? Just stick to clean, simple 2D. It's always clearer.
And finally, color. Using a whole rainbow of colors just because you can, it doesn't help. It just distracts your brain. Color should always have a purpose. The best way to use it? Keep everything a neutral color, and then use one different bright color to highlight the one specific bar you want to draw the viewer's attention to. Okay, so we know bar charts can hide the truth about distribution. So what's the answer? Well, it's time to go beyond the bar and meet the real heroes of our story. These are the alternative charts that reveal the data instead of concealing it.
First up is the box plot. This is a massive upgrade from a single bar. Instead of just one number, it gives you 5. It shows you the median, the true middle of your data, and then it shows you where the bulk of your data sits, inside that box, and the full range of your data with the whiskers. Instantly, you get a much better feel for how spread out everything is.
But now, for the real star of the show, the violin plot. This thing is amazing. It takes all the good summary stuff from a box plot and combines it with a density plot. So the width of the violin shows you where your data points are most concentrated. If you have 2 different peaks in your data, the violin will show 2 fat sections, revealing a story that even a box plot would miss.
This little table here just breaks it all down perfectly. A bar chart, it only really shows you the center. A box plot, it adds the spread and the range. But only the violin plot reveals the full shape.
including those hidden peaks. It just tells the most complete story, period.
So, we've seen the problem and we've met the solutions. How do we put all this together? How do you actually choose the right chart for the job?
Let's be really clear about this. Bar charts are not the enemy. They're actually perfect when you're using them for their intended purpose, which is showing counts, like the number of users and different subscription plans. The problem only starts when we try to force them to summarize complex, continuous data, a job they were just never built for.
So here's a quick cheat sheet. If you've got a small amount of data, hey, just show every single data point with a dot plot. If you have a larger set, a box plot gives you a fantastic summary. But if you think the shape of your data is where the real story is, the Violin plot is your best friend. It'll give you the most complete picture. Ultimately, this is what it all comes down to. The whole point of making a chart isn't just to display a number, it's to create insight. It's to reveal the patterns, the shape, and the hidden story within the data. So you should always choose the chart that tells the truest, most complete story possible.
So the next time you see a bar chart in a presentation or in the news, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, what am I not seeing? What kind of complex, interesting story might be hiding behind that one simple bar?
And subscribe now for amazing videos just like that. Thanks for watching.